to give the call to the Honourable the Deputy Leader of the Opposition.
Thank you, Speaker. And over my time in this place, I've been proud to rise and speak on behalf of my farming and irrigation communities many, many times. These are good and decent people, and they have several priorities in their lives. One, like most who live in this great country, they want to provide for and look after their family. Two, they want to care for their land and the environment. And three, they are proud to grow food and fibre for this nation. Whether this is citrus, grapes, apples, pears, rice, irrigated wheat and cereals, or sustainable cotton, almonds, nuts, dairy, so many more, and the value add that comes with that. Whatever it is, they work their land, they make things which sustain our country and nations across the world. What we saw last Wednesday, when the Water Minister introduced a bill that is before the House now, can only be described as a dog of an act. The saddest part? Well, while there was anger across my electorate and basin towns, there were no real surprises. It was expected. Why? My communities knew as soon as the Labor government was returned to the seat of power, they would be after us. Not because they don't care about eating or wearing Australian products, it's because they just don't understand. They don't understand that heading into the local supermarket or variety store to pick up a can of pears or a packet of rice or a dozen apples or beautiful Australian-made cheese with Aussie-made logos, these products actually have to be made here. And even though the Minister made various assertions that she would consult with irrigation communities, asking them to provide creative ways to reduce water consumption, we had our doubts. Still, many in my community did participate in this feedback. They worked earnestly to provide methods which would avoid purchasing more water from the consumptive pool. We did this despite, in our heart of hearts, knowing that Labor could not be serious. Surely they were not seriously trying to work hand in hand with our producers. And guess what? We were right. As soon as the Minister was clear of her sham consultation period, there was the member for Sydney standing up in this place, dumping on regional Australia from a very great height. Let me be very clear for those opposite. Taking water away from farmers takes away their ability to produce goods. Right. When you take away products at the market, you increase their costs at a time when all Australians are struggling with the cost of living. Why on earth would you want to increase some of those costs even further? Now, we've looked at this legislation very closely, and there are parts of the bill we can support. But the part which takes away the law that buybacks will only happen under a strict socio-economic test, that part's not up for sale. It makes compulsory an extra 450 gigalitres of water recovery for South Australia, for the environment, so they say. Well, at least South Australians thought so, but apparently even that part is in doubt. Now, what does more buybacks actually mean? And why do they want to hurt every one of us? By purchasing water entitlements at market prices, buybacks are often the simplest and least expensive method of recovering water for the environment. But buybacks reduce the supply of water available for our irrigated agriculture and our farmers, bump up water allocation prices, and in drier conditions this makes water incredibly expensive, and it removes the incentive for farmers to plant crops. When they don't grow food, the farm needs to diversify, or it just simply shrinks and the growers walk away. This impacts on their neighbours, the local produce store and local communities. Every type of farming irrigation community in New South Wales or Victoria, Queensland, even South Australia, all saying buybacks hurt their community and they hurt our ability to grow food. The Water Minister says the government will provide significant transitional assistance. If these voluntary water purchases have secondary impacts on communities, well, this is a Labor Greens code for saying we're happy to shut down your town. It ignores the 2012 bipartisan agreement to protect the social and economic fabric of irrigation communities. It effectively says we're getting this 450 gigalitres from anywhere in the basin at any cost. Now, the other side screams there needs to be more water for the environment. Well, that's right too. We do need to do something, and we are, and we have been. Since the Basin Plan was introduced, farmers and irrigators have been striving to use their precious resources better and smarter and help the environment in the process, always doing more with less, in a bid to balance the use of water for food and water for the environment. And we're nearly there. But this government has once again put its politics before its people in this base political act. My people are not happy, and we intend to fight back. we intend to fight this legislation every step of the way.
Hear, hear.